Howdy folks, I'm Brian,
I'm Amber.
and here's some Reddit. Our first letter is titled, Am I the jerk for cooking scraps for dinner tonight? And there is a content warning on this one. It does involve a controlling partner. I'm a 27-year-old female, and I cook for my boyfriend, a 41-year-old male, scraps for dinner. We needed to go grocery shopping, but we have leftovers in the fridge from last night, which I assumed we would be eating tonight. These leftovers are uncooked burger patties, pasta salad, and grilled corn. At 7 p.m. this evening, my boyfriend asked me what I was making for dinner. I reminded him of the leftovers. He said I was throwing a hissy fit over not wanting to cook something good for him. Then he said that he would probably just eat some crackers or something, and he'd figured that he would have to figure it out himself, and then he went back to sleep. After he fell asleep again, I felt so horrible that I cooked up some rice, ground beef, peppers, onions, grilled some fresh corn, and mixed it all together with some homemade chipotle sauce, and then I baked it and melted some cheese on top. When I presented it to him, he wouldn't even taste it. He asked if I got fresh ingredients at the store or just used what we had. I told him I cooked everything fresh, but it was bought yesterday. The corn hadn't even been cooked before, the pepper hadn't been cooked before, etc. It was all extra ingredients that I hadn't used yesterday. He then told me that I ruined his night further by not listening to him and letting him make his meal cracker, and I'm a horrible girlfriend for trying to serve him scraps instead of this and not just cooking, and he kept yelling scraps at me and told me to leave him alone to starve. Should I have played this differently? Was I really that bad for making this for him? Or am I the jerk for not listening to his cracker thing? Or is he just in a mood and being a jerk? Alright, folks. Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk. Break up with him like yesterday. This is not just a mood.
OP, oh my goodness, this man is not a good man. Like, you, no, you're not a jerk. This is terrible. OP, giant red flags everywhere. He should have been grateful that you cooked a meal for him to begin with, even if it was leftovers. There was nothing wrong with leftovers in this case. So I think that he is just overreacting here, and I think that maybe potentially he can't. I have a question about the age gap here. Generally, I don't like to mention age gaps because, sometimes the age gaps don't matter, sometimes they do. It's really hard to determine whether or not age gaps in a particular situation mean anything. But in this particular case, I'm kind of inclined to say that a 15-year age gap probably is not necessarily a good thing, and that he may very well be using your age against you in this case, especially in a kind of manipulative, like, you're younger, you don't necessarily know whether things are normal or not, and he can kind of use that in order to manipulate you and, to kind of deceive you into thinking that you're the person in the wrong here and that he's being perfectly reasonable. So, OP, I do think that he is the jerk in this situation, and I think that you are very much in the clear. So please consider this relationship, consider what you want out of this relationship, and consider whether or not you even want to move forward with a relationship like this, because things like this are only going to probably get worse. That's kind of my thought. Anyhow, take care and good luck. 1. Why was it your job to cook? 2. Why is your boyfriend too good for scraps? 3. What's so wrong with eating crackers if he doesn't like what's on offer? Does he think it's cannibalism or something? Not the jerk, this guy sounds like a nightmare. And someone's laughing about the cannibalism comment because it's funny. And then 4, why are you with this guy? I'm so confused. First off, does he think people go to the store every single day? Second, girl, what in the world? Third, what in the world happened to your life that you're thinking that being talked to and treated like this is acceptable, or that it could possibly make you a jerk? Fourth, girl, again, what in the world? Yeah. How rich do you gotta be to go to the grocery store every day? It's a good question. Richer than me. Our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for walking out of the airport when I saw my husband's mom standing there with her luggage? I'm a 30-year-old female, and I don't have the best relationship with my husband's mom. Since the day that she tried to make remarks and compare me to her, she then tried to get me on the good side and started overly praising everything I did, and sometimes even copying me, like the one time then she literally dyed her hair purple just like mine, and when everyone pointed out how ridiculous she looked, she actually blamed me and accused me of trying to make a joke out of her. Well, anyhow, my husband and I took 2 weeks off to go visit some places out of the country. Tourism, in other words. Thing is, I was the one who saved up for it and arranged for the trip. My husband was responsible for booking the tickets. My husband's mom wanted to come My husband's mom wanted to come along and threw a temper tantrum when I said no. She called, texted, sent people to talk to me into letting her come, and even threatened to call the police and make up some complaint to get us to stay if she can't come. My husband said that we should just take her, but I told him that he was wrong to tell her about the trip in the first place. He gave me an ultimatum, said that he wouldn't go if she couldn't come, and I told him I would gladly call his bluff, which made him take back his words, and then he said, fine. I will tell her to stop because we won't take her. Well, things got quieter, suspiciously quieter. The day of the trip came and we got to the airport at 2 p.m. My husband was walking ahead of me and was looking left and right like he was looking for someone. I asked him what he was doing, but he didn't respond. He led me to the waiting area, and the first thing I saw was his mom standing there with her luggage. I froze in my spot. I felt a cold wave washing over me, and I was fuming inside. She and my husband were hugging, and that's when I quietly turned around and started walking towards the exit. My husband followed me while shouting at me to stop. He tried to stop me, but I told him off in the harshest way possible. He tried to say that I was overreacting and that his mom was there anyways, and that I should just let it go and not mess the trip up for us. I told him that he and his mom could still go and that I was going home. Well, I went home and I sobbed into my dog's fur for several minutes. Turned out that he had booked her ticket without me knowing. An hour later, he came home yelling and raging about how pathetic and spiteful I was to walk out and go home and ruin the trip last minute. I told him that he caused this to happen. He said that I was being hard on his mom and it was ridiculous. I refused to fight anymore, but he kept berating me and then called my family to tell them that the trip had been canceled and that it was because of me. My family said that I shouldn't have ruined the trip for myself and that I should just have gotten over it and done my best to enjoy. Did I really overreact? Alright, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk. Your family is wrong.
OP already established that they were not going to go on the trip if the mom came along.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, she said this well in advance. She's like, if she's going, I'm not. So, why is it that he's chalked Pikachu face when she actually does what she said she was going to do? So, no, OP, you're not the jerk in this situation. Hubby could have still gone on the trip with his dear old mom. Plain and simple. I think that, you two probably needed a little bit of a vacation from each other after that stunt that he pulled. So, I don't think you're a jerk, and, yeah, I think he's acting pretty crummy in this situation, so I'm really sorry. Anyhow, take care and good luck. I don't want to call the divorce card, but divorce. You told your boundaries, you said no, she crossed it. Your husband told you that he would tell her no, he lied. He tried to pin you in a corner by not saying anything and bringing her anyways, and got upset when you refused to be a part of his little trap. And then he berated you? He's not a good man, and he needs to go, not the jerk. This right here. I would divorce him. He lacks a backbone and the ability to stand by your side. Time to cut your losses and move on. And OP says, correct, I did say no in the nicest possible way, but she was having none of it. Seeing my husband giving in to her tantrums made me feel weaker, but I still kept trying to hold on to that boundary even after he himself said that he wouldn't go unless she went. It was stressful and very exhausting, and I really considered canceling either way, but I tried harder because I really wanted this trip. OP probably should have just gone on the trip and like booked their own hotel and stuff like that, and been like, yeah, actually you two get to share your own room. I can see that you two need it. That was rude of me. Sometimes the divorce card needs to come out, and this is one of them. The only part of this I don't agree with is OP should have gone to the ticket booth, gotten her ticket changed for anywhere else, and gone and enjoyed herself alone. Let husband and his mother have their romantic time together because it sounds like he married his mother. I love how this person basically just said what I said. All right, folks, it is water time. Grab your beverages of water. Yes. So, I am drinking water today.
Me too.
So, I still have a joke for you, and we will tell it real quick. Maybe this one's a little too on the nose. What is the U.S. national flower? The cost of living rose. Maybe a little too on the nose. Book from
1985.
1985. You may have a point. 1981, I believe there was a big recession as well, and so I believe that we're kind of repeating some of those same cycles financially as we did in that time. So, yeah, I mean, the history repeats itself. Time flows like a river. Something, something, something. Wise sage advice. Something, something. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, consider giving me a like, and if you didn't, consider giving me a dislike. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow.